This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. You're tuned into the TCSF podcast with Big Z, JC, and Ivan from the Tape Never Lies Network. And this is coming straight from the 606 Media Studios, powered by True Chicago Sports Fans. This is episode 289, the Chicago Sports Shakeup. We're going to be talking about a Bears mock draft. We've got some small Cubs news, some small Sox news. What else do we got? I guess we'll talk about the Bulls and how much they suck. They're playing right now. They're 0-2 since the trade. We'll talk about that, but we'll talk in a little bit of Super Bowl to start off the show. But let's get everything out of the way. Remember to go to 606 Media and get your ultimate source for all things Chicago. Don't forget to swing by 606media.com to get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt and check out exclusive lines like For the Love of Sports merchandise line. Show off your Chicago pride. And if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, go ahead and subscribe, leave a 5-star review, some kind words. Keeps us relevant in the charts. And if you're on your podcast app, do the same thing. Share it. And that's the only way we continue to grow with your help. Again, we have other shows on the network. We have Impossible with myself, Big Z, and No Water No Weekend. So go ahead and check out those shows they're on YouTube, they're on Spotify, they're on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, they're on the website. Go ahead and check out the rest of the lineup and enjoy yourselves. But let's strap in and get ready for an unforgettable ride through the best of Chicago sports culture and beyond. Let's get started with our beloved Chicago Bears, who've made news today. Let's see what it says. It says Illinois lawmakers and the Chicago Bears are close on a deal on a public infrastructure funding and property tax legislation tied to propose to Arlington Heights Stadium, with the team pledging to cover construction costs. Governor Pritzker says that the talks are ongoing and any agreement must protect taxpayers while lawmakers continue to work through the details like a ticket affordability and tax certainty. Indiana has also advanced its own stadium proposal to lure the Bears, adding pressure as the legislation session nears at the end. Through Illinois, though Illinois lenders say that they're not negotiating out of competition. The fuck you're not. It was a viable thing. You had Roger Goodell out there looking at land with the Chicago Bears in Indiana, and they started moving a lot faster than Illinois. And if you do not want to be the governor that lost the Bears to your neighboring state, boys.
I'll just say this: I've was born and bred as a Bears fan. But if they move to Indiana, I would have to find a new team. I'll just state it. Simple as that. You know what? I'm sorry. Like, I understand it might be 15, 20 minutes over the border. I don't care. Like, it's one of those where you shit upon me, I shit upon you. So, sorry. I hate to be that way. Or like, I'll cheer for whatever, another team that actually wins. Not that the Bears didn't win this year, but they've been losers since I've been born. Literally, I was a Super Bowl baby.
Ivan, would you? You're not going to change allegiances, right?
I wouldn't go that far, but I'll tell you this: it would be a long time in between games for me. There would be a lot of time before I go. I mean, unless, like I said, free ticket's a free ticket. But just thinking about the travel back, it's a bitch now. Anywhere, to get there. Like now we have to go there, deal with that fucking traffic across state, right?
Yeah.
We've all gone south on that fucking ride. We all gone south, bro. We've all gone to Indiana. We've all done that shit. They have to change major infrastructure to fucking to have me on board to where like, okay, this might be easy for the commuter back and forth. There's
got a 2-lane highway.
Paying that toll for the freaking
exactly, and plus the toll. plus the fucking expensive ass ticket, plus all the expensive ass shit. No, if they would have went to Indiana, I would have been on the couch watching a game or at the bar watching a game for quite a while before I set foot in that new stadium. If it were to be built there. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be happy about that commute and the thought of you just, like I said, now you got to change the song. You can't
Exactly where I was going with that.
you got to change the song. You can't. You would lose people.
The
I
pride
guarantee
and
you.
joy
Yeah,
of Gary.
yeah,
Indiana.
Hammond. Yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, it sucks.
It doesn't
would
rhyme
suck.
anymore. Yeah. You have to change it to whole news. I literally pulled up the lyrics waiting for you guys to say something like that. Yep. That's the biggest thing. Again, I don't go to a lot of games just because it's a pain in the ass to get to Soldier Field. It's a mile and a half walk from wherever you get dropped off to, or if you're tailgating to, all the way up to the gate. And once you're inside, it's fine. It's nothing spectacular, but it is a pain in the ass. And then leaving afterwards as well, you're walking all the way to Michigan Avenue and probably Chicago Avenue before you can get a reasonably priced Uber if you're doing an Uber route, right? If you're paying 150 or 100, I don't know what it is parking. Is it $100 up there? I mean, ball games for the White Sox and the Bulls is $40 right now, so I'm pretty sure it's.
I know. I've done concerts and parked at the Waldron deck for concerts and stuff, and the price is usually about $45 to $50 for like a concert. As for a Bears game, yeah, I don't know. Actually, I parked one time by astrology.
The planetarium.
Thank you. I parked there one time for a Bears game, and I think it was about $45. I mean, you still had a little bit of a walk from that parking lot, but for $45, it wasn't like the mile and a half that you have to walk, like, past the Field Museum and everything like that. So, you know what? Honestly, like in decent weather, I don't mind the walk. I'm still young enough that I don't mind it. When it's minus 15, minus 30 in December, yeah, no, I'm not enjoying it. But like I said, in those early September, October, November, I don't, for especially like preseason games, stuff like that, I don't mind it. But there is rumor that the Bears might have a game in Spain, I think it is this year.
That would be awesome.
Because according to everything, there are 3 teams that have licensing agreements with Spain, and we're supposed to have a game in Spain this year. However, the Bears are supposed to have an extra home game this coming season, obviously with the 17-week schedule. So the Bears are supposed to have an extra game, plus we are the only team of the 3 that like have the extra game plus the licensing agreement with Spain. So the likelihood that the Bears may or may not have a game in Spain is very high. So, gentlemen, want to go to a game in Spain?
I mean, I got to get my passport. Got to renew that like real quick.
Bro, yeah. I got a passport. I got global entry. I got everything.
Oh boy, we'll have to work that out offline. But I mean, for me, I think that's great. The Bears are already a worldwide brand. Just like the Yankees. They're a worldwide brand, and we've seen that when we had some of our fans come over from for TTNL at the Casa Humilde from Germany. Mm-hmm. So that is what it is. The Bears is the world. We were at the bar, and one of the regulars went to Mexico, and he was at a Bears bar there. There was like 300 people that came out and took a picture together. That's not everybody that was in the bar, but 300 people that are part of this Facebook group. They went in and took a huge picture across the street, and that bar, as he said, is 3 levels of Bears fans. So there is, a want for that. There is a want for the Bears to be playing on a global platform. So and I think it's great. It broadens everybody, and people that are not Bears fans, they're going to understand, oh, wow, we should be Bears fans too. So they travel very well, and they will bear down everywhere.
Yeah, there was a reporter that was at like the Super Bowl, and they kind of anonymously said that there were a lot of people at the media, stuff that were basically like, we kind of wish the Bears had made it, because it's one of those where like, the Seahawks versus New England, like, to me, like, okay, yeah, I understand the fan bases are excited and whatever, but for the rest of us, like, it was kind of like a lackluster, like, oh, these are the teams I really want to see. Like, it was kind of like, like, not to diss on Sam Darnold or whoever, but it's just one of those where it's like the Patriot fatigue, like with Tom Brady and everything like that. I'm tired of seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And then, like I said, with the Seahawks, they've won recently, so it's like, are there other teams that I would much rather see in a Super Bowl? Or like I said, like the Rams with their offense, like I would have much rather seen the Rams, in a Super Bowl than kind of what we saw and witnessed this past weekend. Don't get me wrong, I understand it was a very defensive heavy game, but it was kind of boring for a while.
It was a field goal fest. Yeah. So I should have went with my gut taking all the unders, but I forget during the week what to do. And definitely was something that it was. And I was making this joke at the bar, and I was like, you know what? It's a concert, and a football game might just break out, because that's what everybody was watching. The rest of the country and the rest of the world was the concert, the 18-minute concert. And sure, there's a football game going on. I guess we'll watch it too. And that was boring. So if your halftime show is more impressive and more entertaining than the game, there's something wrong with the product, right? And I get it, the matchup didn't match up because you have a heavy defensive Seattle team that knows how to scheme, knew exactly what they were doing when they came up to their blitzing. And you have a second-year quarterback that got exposed. They didn't get tested all year, and they had the easy route. Yeah, they played quarterbacks that that were injured. And again, we heard that for the Bears too, but I felt like the Bears were tested in multiple wars throughout the season rather than the New England Patriots.
I feel exactly that way, but I felt that way for any NFC team, to be quite honest with you. Any NFC team this year probably could have beat that Patriots team. That's how bad that offense performed. And not saying that they don't have a really good staff, a really good coach, a really good operation going, but whatever that was, it was piss poor. Like, you didn't show up. Your team didn't show up. Your left tackle was abysmal.
Yeah.
First rounder, top 10 pick, abysmal in the Super Bowl. Your fucking top 10 quarterback, abysmal in the Super Bowl. And like I said, this doesn't define what the Patriots can do moving forward. But the fact that that's what they did offensively, I think any of them. I think the Packers could have done it. I think the Niners could have done it. I think the Bears could have done it. I think the Rams could have done it. The Seahawks definitely did it. Anybody in the Bucks could have fucking done it. Who else? Like, anybody. Like, even teams that were fucking out, like just barely out, might have been able to beat that fucking Patriots offense. Like, I'm sorry. It was underwhelming, to say the least. The most underwhelming Super Bowl for me was Rams Patriots. The second time around. This one takes a cake. It was that fucking bad for me.
For me, I look at the New England Patriots, and like, first off, Vrabel was the coach that I wanted if we didn't get Ben Johnson. Vrabel to me is a phenomenal coach. Like, you can see what he did taking on the Patriots team from last year to this year and the turnaround that they already have, just like the Bears with Ben Johnson. However, when you look at the Bears offense versus, say, the Patriots offense, like, other than Stephon Diggs, name me one guy on the Patriots, like, offensively, like wide receiver, tight end, anything. Like, they have a bunch of rookie no-name guys that aren't worth a damn. So to me, like, I think that's where part of the problem is for the Patriots. Not only that, I criticize the Patriots all year long. They consistently kept running Ramondre Stevenson when Henderson was your guy. What are you doing? When Stevenson was out for like 2 or 3 games, Travion Henderson went crazy, was having breakout runs for 60, 70 yards, was putting up a ton of yardage. And then Ramondre comes back from injury, and all of a sudden it's, hey, let's give it to this guy who's a plotter and a slow, like, gets 3 yards a carry. Like, I don't understand what they were doing. So I criticize them for that, because you know what? I understand there's some teams that are like, we don't trust rookies no matter what, and we're going to go with the veteran no matter what. Dude, when you have a better stud on your roster, it's imperative that you use them. So again, I criticize them for that. Other than that, like, you brought up that, it's a musical concert that might turn into a football game. I'm probably going to get trashed on this, but we were talking off air. I really didn't think Bad Bunny's performance was that good.
You don't think the performance was good because you don't understand it, or his performance in dancing? Like, be specific.
Because I can still appreciate good music and good vocals, even though I don't understand it. Like, I can still hear tone. I can still hear like vibrato and things of that nature. When he was performing, like, it seemed like a lot of like yelling, talking. Like, it wasn't a vocal artist.
Did you understand Kendrick the year before? There it is.
I guess for me, like, rappers, like, I categorize rappers differently than singers.
Yeah.
Because like Eminem is not a vocalist. He's not a like vocal artist. Like, rappers, like, their performances are different. It's more of the rhythm, the beat, the staccato, you know what I mean? So maybe I need to look at it from that way. Maybe, like, Bad Bunny is more of like, I got to put him more in the rapper than, because again, we were talking off air. When Ricky Martin was on, I thought, like, it was like, dude, why isn't this guy performing instead? Because Ricky Martin sounded fantastic.
Because he doesn't have a song that's relevant at the moment.
I understand that, but again, vocally, Ricky Martin sounded much better to my ears
because he's a singer. That's the only difference. You're looking at a mumble rapper versus a singer.
Is that what he is? Is that what?
I mean, that's what I want. You can equate it to that, because there's
it's a reggaeton mumble rap. Is that what he's? Is that what he is?
Yeah, I would say that.
I don't fucking know what's going on anyway. I was, like I said, I was just like
I said, to me, like I said, it was just one of those where, and again, I'm not familiar with Bad Bunny all that much or whatever. But like I said, like, I guess I was expecting more of a vocal artist than, because even like last year, like when it was Eminem and like all the rappers, like, I enjoyed it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I grew up on in the 90s, and 50 Cent and all, like, Snoop and all those guys. Like, I grew up on that. So I enjoyed the performance. Like, I could still enjoy the performance, but like I said, like this year, maybe again, in my head, like, I was thinking like, okay, he's going to be a vocal artist, not so much like a rap style. Cause again, it's like putting an entertainer up rather than a vocal artist. And I guess that's where maybe my bias is.
Right. But if you have an entertainer up there, it's going to be pre-recorded, right? J-Lo, she can't sing for a lick or nothing, right? So everything's all pre-recorded and it's mastered and all that stuff. So we know what that is, right? Britney Spears can't sing. We know that that's all pre-recorded and auto-tuned and all that.
I mean,
out there, go ahead.
I'm not even. Oh, go ahead.
I'll stand by this. Like, one of my favorite recent performances for the Super Bowl, Bruno Mars. I thought his performance was absolutely fantastic. So like that's where I'm at. Like, that's where I stand, is like, I guess for me, like, I'm expecting more vocal artist than performer. So maybe that's just where
the hottest artist on the planet for the last 3 years finally get on the Super Bowl. And yes, I get it. Like not many people don't understand what he's saying or don't speak the language. But that show was a
I don't
vibe.
know.
If you
It seemed like more than half the stadium didn't even know what the fuck was going
Yeah,
on. But,
there was
but
video
to that
of
point,
people.
it, like where we were, Jose.
yeah,
If you were in a location like we were, right? It was fucking live because
Yeah.
you had Hispanics, you had all types of Hispanics in there. You know what I'm saying, and that's their vibe. So it's like to me, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be difficult for anybody, especially if like you don't fucking like country or you don't like fucking rap or you don't like
Yeah.
this.
you can't appease everybody.
You can't appease fucking everybody, and I think it's been the biggest fucking nothing, like this whole fucking debate about it. And I like I said, I think they all suck. Like personally, like I don't fucking. I just like get me back to the fucking second half. Except for this time. This time I really wasn't bothered by it because it's the game sucked. Like the first half sucked. So I was just like, whatever. Hear the women dancing. You know what I'm saying at the bar. That was the best part. Is just seeing all these hot ass chicks just got up, started fucking dancing at the bar. Awesome. That's it. The game sucked. The game sucked. So whatever you think about it, like I said, you're not going to be like you had mentioned, you're not going to appease everybody.
You're not. You're not. And you know what? The pendulum next year is going to swing back to the other side. It's going to be English. It's going to be probably country. Maybe a jelly roll.
Hey man, it might not, man. We might be looking at K-pop.
If they put K-pop up there, that's where I draw the line.
Gonna be golden.
I'll fucking draw the line right there.
Oh man! Again, there's a lot that he brought up. He brought up one of the ladies from the bodegas that has a store. He brought her on. It was one of the old ladies. So there's stories of people that he brought out. The little kid. He's a child actor. He gave it the Grammy. I forgot what was the story behind that. There was
he's not a child actor. Supposedly, it's the child that the ICE agents detained, the 5-year-old or whatever.
No, it's
no.
not.
Or
at least that's what I had read.
There's stuff going around. Yeah, but
it's information going about.
Yeah, there we go. Information, right?
Yeah.
There was what was the other story? Oh, that was a live, actually, a wedding. It was a real wedding. I mean, they did a lot of cool stuff.
Was it an actual wedding?
Yeah.
There was 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, he grabbed the ring and he gave it to the dude, the proposal, and then the wedding was on top. It wasn't the same couple though. It wasn't the same couple.
That would be weird if you proposed and got married in an 18-minute span.
Fuck, it was done by Bad Bunny. And the biggest audience of all time. 135 million or something like that. Largest halftime audience of all time. Hey man, you're not going to be there.
They're trying to make the NFL global. My biggest issue is how are you like getting these dudes to fly overseas, and what's the ultimate end goal? Just to have games over there? No, you're gonna put a team over there. Eventually, you're gonna put a team overseas somewhere, if not one, multiple. And to me, I that is ridiculous. Like that's too fucking much. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the only thing I can see is like if you make it its own division kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you have the NFC, AFC, and then there's like an international division where like the teams from Spain go against Italy, go against blah, blah, blah. And then that third division faces in the playoffs. Like that's the only way I can see it working.
Yeah, they have their own league, and then they play. They have their own division, and then the winner of that and the winner of the super. I mean, what would be our 2 NFC versus AFC plays them. Like it'll be weird. It'll be weird. I think the only way it works is if teams are going over there, they're staying there for 2 to 3 weeks, including the bye week. Like I'm booking and the bye week of them being out there. Right, you're leaving after a game on Sunday. You have the bye week to get your butts over there and get acclimated. Then you have 2 games and then another bye week to get yourself back and acclimated back to the States. That is the only way that's going to work.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Well,
it's ridiculous now, but to think about, they want to they want to increase the amount of games and increase the locations, change them up and shit like that. Like that's a lot. And then you're going through a 18-week season. They want to push the fucking 19 or 20 weeks, right?
Then you
They've
just
been talking about
get
that.
rid of preseason. You got to get rid of
No,
preseason.
it's gonna be kibosh. Preseason is on its way out.
What-
They might have one warm-up game, and that's it.
It'll be like a flag football game, a warm-up game, because these guys are gonna be like, no, we're not gonna play in pads for 20 weeks.
No,
That's
it's
gonna be
it's literally gonna be one warm up game just so that and it's gonna be all the rookies, like I mean, the guys that are trying to fill out the squad.
Right.
That's it.
and it's gonna diminish the first 3 weeks of the season while you're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you could get teams. You could get teams lucking into some wins early on, and for these juggernauts, hell, so if they're ready, if you got a team that's ready and they're good, they could just fucking run away with the division in the first month. It could be over, and yeah, it's I don't know. It's a weird thing to think about having multiple games over there. Like I said. Sprinkle it in, that's fine. But I think they're really trying to have one damn near every week. Like that's kind of how I see them pushing.
To me, it's not even that. It's like we were just talking about how the Bears might have a game in Spain this year, right?
Yeah.
But there's a game that they're trying to book in Australia. So it's not like, hey, it's a 6-8 hour flight from New York to Spain. Now we're talking a 14-hour flight. And some of these guys who are 6'8", 330 pounds, they don't exactly fit in an airplane seat all that well.
No, you got to get one of those jumbo planes where you can stand up and walk around, those double-decker planes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big old Airbuses. Yeah, you got to have that for them, because there's no way these guys can fit in a seat and stay stagnant for that long. They'll cramp up. It'll be a problem. So I still don't think they should do that. I think they should have a game. They do the Mexico game, right? There's always a Mexico game, which is fine with me. It's not too long of a flight. The Brazil game was, I think, obnoxious. They're
it's because the turf sucked.
Yeah. Whatever. I think that's way too far. And they have one in Spain. I know the Jaguars are always out there. They're like the expansion team of Europe. And who's the other team that's always out there? It's another crappy team.
Is it? I don't know. I know the Jaguars for sure.
The Jaguars are always out there. Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. It's not Cincinnati. I want to say Cincinnati, but I know it's not them. But I know the Bears play pretty regularly. But I think the last time they played was in Britain.
And they went to London. They went to London.
Yeah, London. So like I said, I mean, I know the Bears have a very big crowd.
Check that out. Keep going, Jesse.
The Bears have a very big crowd in the way of Europe and Germany and everything of that nature. So sorry, I'm clicking over to
And then Miles.
Ooh, what's going on here?
It's a fight.
I can see that
in the NBA.
I can fight in 2 days.
Yeah, look at these, they're going at. I mean, there's punches being thrown. Someone come off the bench. Look at this. This is crazy.
Woo!
Let me bring that up.
Can you put it up on the?
Bring that heat.
Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead, Ivan. Go ahead, Ivan. Take over.
Yeah. Hold on. You have to add it.
I have to add it. Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
Oh, look at that. That looks cool. Go ahead.
And then Miles went after Duran. And then Isaiah Stewart, who wasn't in the game at all.
I love the one Detroit player just walks away. I'm not getting involved in this.
And then Miles.
What a snake. what a snake of a punch though around the fucking security. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's the most exciting part of the NBA at the moment.
Yeah, just keep letting him get into fights because nothing else is exciting.
Nothing else is exciting with that.
Let's see. Make it like hockey.
Yeah.
They should be allowed one fight a game.
Might as well. Let's see. Not real much to talk about. I know the Bulls are playing. Do anybody have the score on the Bulls right now?
Yeah, it's they're losing right now.
77-61. Again, we covered this last week with the 4
Sorry, they had this giant lunar calendar fucking ad on the bottom. I couldn't fucking see the score for like 2 minutes. Oh, there you go. There.
Oh yeah, they're getting killed.
Well, I guess we can talk about that, because we did all the special episodes of like all the trades and everything that went down, but then we had breaking news this week that the Bulls amended a trade and gave a second back because I guess Colby has some sort of calf strain that he's going to be out for a little period of time. And it's like, I'm sorry, I am not giving up a second because he has a calf strain. If you have a problem with the fact that he has a calf strain and that we have done a trade, that is your problem. Either take it or send him back to us, and I will gladly send you the draft picks back. Because I am not like we're not going to give him up for 2 seconds. Like, I'm not going to play this game with you. I'm sorry. Like you already fleeced us, and now you want to fleece us even worse because a calf strain? No. Either you give us the 3 seconds or just send him back on the next flight.
Yeah, it was bad. It's just, the Bulls front office is just bad, and right now they sit. If it were to go by record right now, they sit at the number 10 spot, and they would be projected to get Koa Pete. I think that's how you say his name. It's Koapeat, power forward out of Arizona. And I don't know. I had to watch film on these guys, especially during the March Madness. I'll be a little bit more versed on who all these guys are. But if you're gonna tank, start tanking. Send Modest. Hey, you have a foot injury. You're gonna stay your ass at home. Giddy. Oh, you strained a shoulder or something. Stay your ass at home. Let the kids go out there and lose these games, man. Go for it. Go for broke and tank all the way down.
That's what they're putting together. I mean, that's what we traded for. Basically, get rid of every piece except for the 2 that we talked about, which is Giddy and Buzelas. Other than that, like the whole point is to clear the cap space, get rid of anybody that had expiring contracts, and start fresh. Like that is exactly what this whole thing was. And like I said, we're losing. So I guess that's the plus side is, since these new guys have arrived, we, although they did have a nice run in the last game where they were down, I think it was like by 12 or 13 points and were able to come back. So like, that's kind of worrisome where it's like, no. You're supposed to lose. Stop it.
It's the NBA. Every team goes on a run in the fourth quarter. As simple as that. Again, Bulls continue to lose. Please, we need higher draft picks. I don't know if you're gonna trade 10 of those draft picks for 1 first rounder. I don't know what stupid stuff you're gonna do, Chicago Bulls, but you're not gonna surprise me because we're so used to your garbage from top to bottom. Okay, the team is unwatchable. We're not gonna finish our podcast and watch the Bulls games now. Why? It's unbearable. I'm gonna go watch some wrestling when I'm done with this. Something. At least I know that's fake for real. It's just I know where I stand with WWE. All right, I know their stories. So, boys, let's take a quick break and then we'll finish off the show with some baseball, and then we'll let everybody just have a good time. All right, so we'll be right back after what. Word from our sponsors.
Hey there, Chicago enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your fandom to the next level? The True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast has got you covered with some serious cool merch that screams Chicago pride. From cozy sweaters to trendy tank tops, we got it all. Show off your love for the city with our iconic red, white, and blue logo, or stand out with our exclusive collection for the love of sports. Whether you're lounging at home, breaking a sweat at the gym, or cheering on your team at a game, our gear is a must-have for all you diehard Chicago sports fans out there. Don't hesitate. Visit bonfire.com/store/606-media-store/ or simply just click the link in the description and snag your gear ASAP. Get ready to make some noise, show your pride, and embrace the Chicago spirit with True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast merch. Designed for you, the ultimate fan, for the love of sports. Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to Nowhere on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Nowhere on the Weekend.
Oh, a little premature there. Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with Big Z, JC, and Ivan from the Tape Never Lies. It's time to talk about our baseball team, so let's hit up the sound.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, boys. Football is over as far as games, and we have to transition into baseball. 162 games plus pre-spring training, and whoever else is still getting signed. Any Cubs news, JC?
No, not as far
It's
as
quite
I
at a
know.
corner, right?
As we were talking off air, the only thing we're watching is the pitcher Gallen. Supposedly we're still in on him potentially, and signing him. And if we do, then it's a question of what do we do with some of the pitchers that we have on the staff. Do we trade somebody, move on from some people, etc. But that's really the only news, is that there's just potential of watching for maybe another starter, for the Cubs. But that's about it.
Well, there's been some smoke about the Cubs may be trading Nico Horner or or Matthew. Who's the other third baseman? Shaw. Yeah, there's because Boston is in pursuit of another infielder. There's a couple teams that are sniffing around. That might be a viable option maybe down the line during the trade deadline. I don't think it'll happen right now. I think they're gonna go into their team with their open day lineup of Michael Bush at first, Nico at center, second, Bregman at third, Swanson at shortstop, Happ at left, PCA in center, Seiya in right field, Moises Ballesteros in DH, and Carson Kelly as your catcher. I think the lineup is pretty good. I think it is right now. As you have a hole in Seiya Suzuki on the defensive side, so I think that has to be addressed at some point during this season. What do you think, Ivan?
Yeah, I mean, if they're in position, like I think we had a discussion before, if they're leading the division by a significant amount, or they're within contention, I could see them going and finding another bat, but I'm not necessarily sure how he would be defensively. It's like, do you go after a defensive replacement, or do you go after a guy who, might have one over the other? Might be a good hitter, but might be just as good as Seiya in the field. Like, it's kind of a crapshoot for me, but I wouldn't doubt that with a contending team that they're going to actually push to go ahead and add at the deadline. So if they could, get through that first half and be in a good spot, yeah, why not? Go ahead and take a shot and add some more depth. Maybe you platoon, but you don't have any, you don't have any type of like a real drop off in talent. You know what I mean? Find a guy that's either of equal talent or better talent than Seiya. But I don't know. This Cubs team, I just don't want to. I don't want to jump to conclusions. Like I like some of the moves that they're making. I hope Zach Gallen is a part of this, ball club, it would help. It'd make me feel a lot better. But again, just show me. That's it.
I don't know if you guys how you feel about this, but why not take a flyer on who just signed? Marcell Ozuna just signed with the Pirates, 1 year, $12 million. Why wouldn't you take that flyer and put him at DH? Proven bat.
I guess basically because the bottom line is it's $12 million, and if you're looking for a DH, then I guess for me the biggest thing is like we need a right fielder that can defensively play and equal Saya's production hitting, because Saya last year did have one of his better years hitting for the Cubs, but again, like he DH'd almost the entire year because let's face it, he's a liability. Like it's almost the same Jason Hayward situation, where it's like, except reverse, where Hayward couldn't hit. He was awesome defensively. Now it's like Saya's decent offensively, but is a liability defensively. So it's one of those, like, if we could find a freaking happy medium out there in right field where we could find a guy that could be okay defensively and okay, offensively, that'd be great.
Mike,
oh wait, that might have been Glenn Casey.
Mike Talkman. It's a stopgap. And I think for the Cubs, I think it's more like they don't want to lose any more of these young players. Well,
I think it's also they want to see what they have in the young players.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see what you have in Alcantara. You want to see what you have in Ballesteros. Like, you can definitely like replace Saya with Alcantara in defensive situations. So I think that's part of it, is like you want to see what these young guys got, because if you don't necessarily want to keep signing older statesmen to big contracts if you got young guys that can play, but you don't know if they can play because you just don't give them the opportunity.
All right. Well, we'll see what's going on. I mean, spring training's starting up pretty soon, so we'll see what the Cubs do. There's you still have Verlander and a couple other former Cy Young winners that can, you can add them to the bullpen, stash them away for when the playoff run is coming. I think that's something that the Cubs should look at, getting some of those big names up there. It's going to cost a little bit, maybe puts you over the edge, but definitely getting some of these veterans to help you along with, because the pitching is going to be the suspect part with the Cubs. It's going to be the pitching. You got guys that are coming off injuries, don't know if they're ready. Some of these guys are not going to be ready by opening day. What is Justin Steele going to give you, right? All that stuff. So there's a lot of questions with the pitching staff, and for years we kept saying fix the bullpen, fix the bullpen, fix the bullpen. They finally fixed the bullpen, in my opinion. They need one more arm, one more guy. I still think they need one more guy. But yeah, the starting rotation is suspect right now, 1 through 5. You don't know where these guys are going to land. So we'll see what the Cubs do. So if you got nothing else, I'm switching over to the South Side.
I'm good.
All right, I'm switching over to the South Side. All right, today the White Sox re-signed Eric Fetty, bringing him back to the South Side, another pitcher that's familiar with pitching with us. He had a 3.31 ERA pitching for the White Sox. He bounced around last year with 3 teams with an ERA over 550. Another veteran to add to these young boys. Again, we have a lot of young pitching, and some of these pitchers are still going to stay at AAA and for that control aspect. Maybe they come up in late May, early June. But right now, I think I like what the White Sox are doing, staying with the youth. Murakami, I don't know if they played a prank on him or if they messed this up again. In his spring training placard, they misspelled his name. So I don't know who's in charge right now with the White Sox as far as these things, because I don't know who's in charge of is that the equipment guy or is that marketing? Because last week me and Ivan were really discussing one of the White Sox snafus in not including Frank Thomas part of the Black History Month celebration. And I know Ivan had a lot of words to say about that last week.
Yeah, it's the most disgraceful bullshit. It's just a blunder. You could call it a blunder, whatever you want to call it. It's just nonsense that slipped through the crack. That the greatest slugger in your fucking franchise's history did it all straight, was just a monster. Would have continued to hit home runs for you had you not let him go after the World Series, right? God knows what he would have done if he would have been able to play in the fucking World Series. But he was always there for you, always fucking just consistent. You're gonna tell me it's a mistake? You're gonna tell me one of these, like it was a kid? You're gonna tell me it was some intern or something? No, there's no way you forget Frank Thomas. Not on the South Side, not in Chicago.
No,
like there's just no way that is it's excused. Like somebody's got to get demoted or suspended or something, because it's ridiculous. You can't forget a Hall of Fame player like that off of one of the one of the more iconic franchises or older franchises in baseball. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why. Was there a beef? Is it something Frank said? Why the fuck did that happen?
I don't think it's anything that Frank has done. Frank has been a professional with the White Sox. He goes to the White Sox signings or appearances. They make multiple bobbleheads and he's there. I really don't think it's on a Frank Thomas thing. I just really think that when you either understaff or you have hiring staff that do not know baseball, they may go through this. But here's the bottom line on that. It has to be approved by an adult, right? And who's in charge of all that? That's what I want to know. Who's in charge of that? Is that Brooks Boyer? Is that his snafu? Because
every
in charge
sports team has a PR team and like a Facebook team, Instagram team, whatever. So I don't put that on anybody really in the organization of being like, yeah, we're leave Frank out. Like, no, it's somebody made a screen grab, or like we make our YouTube clip or the weekly video thumbnail, whatever. And like I said, you just, somebody who's probably 19 years old making these clips left Frank out, and that's it. That is what it is. I don't think there's anything malicious about it. I just think that they're paying somebody probably $15 an hour to run their Instagram account that is not probably the person you want doing it.
Looks like my camera dropped out. Yeah, let me fix my camera. I don't know what happened there. Boom, boom. There we go. Should be fixing. Oh, or not. Oh, I don't know what happened to my camera, boys. I touched the wire and it went blank.
Did your dog pee on it?
No. Let me unplug it again.
Good.
Right,
I told Jose while you were off air, I go, see, that's why you get female dogs. It's harder for them to pee on things.
Well, I guess she's a female dog, though.
Really? My two squat, man. They
yeah, that's what she did. Squatted right on the fucking cord.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, Jose, are you still there?
I'm still here. It's just the camera just died. I don't know what. I touched a wire, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what
shorted
happened.
it out.
All right. Well, I think that's a good spot.
That's a good spot. Move the wire onto the other side. See if that helps. Yeah. Well, good thing is that they fixed the snafu and there's a new marketing thing with Frank Thomas back on it. So
it's about time.
It's about time. It only took them a week. All right, camera. Not even. It just won't switch over. It just won't even switch. Right, even if I try to switch it over to the FaceTime camera, it still won't do that. But it's all good. We don't got much left on the show, anyways, because there's nothing to report from spring training until next week. So, any closing thoughts before we jump off?
Not really. I mean, anything going on with our Blackhawks? I really haven't heard much anything from them recently.
The Olympics, dude.
Yeah, it's Olympic break.
True. That's why.
Yep.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I haven't heard nothing. I guess we could talk about the big Olympic thing. Lindsey Vonn getting injured after tearing her ACL. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was pretty gruesome.
You mean the ligament that holds your knees together and they told you not to do something on?
Mm-hmm.
No, she was actually told by a doctor, like they put her in a knee brace and everything, and basically said, go for it. The doctors all said that she could go for it. But yeah, I mean, she's in her 40s. She's had multiple ACL, meniscus, et cetera. But
it feels like she's done. Yeah, she's done. All right. There's no doubting that. She's.
You know what? You guys say that, but you know what? I wouldn't put it past her. Like if she took like 3 years off and she did like she did this year, she does just enough to qualify for the Olympics again in 4 years, and she gives it one more go. I mean, like I don't think she should, but some of those athletes, man, they thrive on that kind of stuff, and like they don't want to give it up, and sometimes they're past their prime and they should have gave it up, before. That's like, Michael Phelps. It's like I feel like he could have gone another Olympic, race or two. He was just so dominant. But like I said, as someone that actually does ski, once I actually saw the actual video of her clipping the gate, because when I was originally watching like on X, you couldn't see her clip the gate, and it almost looked like from the video, like the first couple videos that you saw, she got air, took off, and like it looked like she bailed because she was afraid to take the impact with the torn ACL. But then once they actually showed the video of her clipping the gate and how it twisted her, like when she hit, and it's just one of those where it's like, yeah, it's not only that, the bindings on their skis, because they're going so fast, and I don't know if anybody here skis other than me. Ivan, I don't know if you ski.
I purposely avoid skiing and snowboarding for these reasons.
Yeah. So with skiing, your boot clipped into bindings, and the bindings you can adjust to either be super tight or loose. And basically, like if you hit a bump or anything, like the ski will separate from your boot so that you don't injure a bone, ligament, etc. However, these people that do like Lindsey Vonn, the downhill stuff, they tighten their bindings super tight because the impact and the chatter of the skis is very violent. They're doing 80 to 90 miles an hour downhill. So you see, like with her skis did not separate from the boot, which is how she ended up having a compound tibia fracture. So, kind of horrible news for her. I had been watching her warm-ups, and like you could tell, like she was taking it easy during the warm-ups, trying to just make it down the hill. She wasn't pushing it, and like you could tell, like the day that she got injured, like that run, she was gonna send it no matter what, even on a torn ACL, because basically she knew this was going to be her last time. But she came out today, put out a press like on Twitter, X, basically saying, good for her. Like, like she basically said, like, I was not in fear of this. I fully was committed to, giving it my all, and, basically kind of like gave a really good message to anyone out there. Don't be afraid to give it your shot, no matter what. Israel, do some snowboarding. I tried snowboarding once and nearly broke my collarbone. And I've been a skier ever since. And you know what? I enjoy skiing. I actually went skiing this weekend for my birthday, and I will be skiing again next week, and that might be the end of my skiing for the winter, because they're talking, temperatures are going to be in the 40s, so there may not be much snow left to ski after next weekend. So, that said, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I love the Olympics. I love watching the Olympics. I could talk about like the curling. I could talk about bobsledding, skeleton. I could talk about all the stuff. The biathlon where they're skiing and then they pull out like an airsoft gun and they're shooting pellets. I always find all the events, really interesting. All right,
I don't know if Jose's able to hear or not. Yeah,
I can hear, but I feel like there's an echo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
there is an echo.
I'm hungry. Let's go rap because this is gonna. I can hear myself
right.
from but yeah.
Yeah, I can start hearing myself too. All right, let's wrap it up. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all our listeners for sticking with us and supporting us through 289 episodes. Thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans. Check out our socials, TCSF Pod on the X, Facebook, IG, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere else is True Chicago Sports Fans. And again, for JC and Ivan, I am Big Z. We'll see you next week for episode 290. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.